Alrighty guys, how's it going? Let's take a look at in this video S&P 500, Nasdaq 100, IWM, KOSPI, and also I'll take you over GLD, and we'll also take a look at silver, that is SLV. Alright, so all that good stuff in this video. Hit the like and subscribe, that helps out a lot. That allows me to keep bringing you all such type of videos. And with that, I want to let you know, none of this is any financial advice, only for education purposes, just sharing my opinion. Please do your own thing. So let's take a look at S&P 500. We have been just ripping bullish, right? The zones that I have been telling you, they are holding as expected. Let's get to the 5 minutes interval real quick. All right. Now, as you know, I have been teaching you a concept from last few videos. That is, are we pulling into a level in the market when it opens, or are we pushing through above that zone, right? So previously, when we were pulling into the zone in the first few minutes of market open, we were mostly looking at the choppy market, sideways market, because our support overall structural level was down there and market was pulling into that. So we'll play uptrend bounce plays. But today, what we saw, we were extending, zone was still the zone. All right, that was still the zone. But how market opened today? We extended away from the zone. Thus, it was a continuation play. Now, it's just not that you would be like, oh yeah, what if, if I have to just see if it's a downside start, then I just play downside. No. Look at it, what happened over here. It wasn't necessarily a downside play. It was still an uptrend play. Technically look at it. You had this, you cannot really capture the first candle, to be honest. And after that, if you would try to short, you would mostly be chopping around, right? You would be like, short it, but then sure, if you are really scalping, yeah, you can short it as well, no problem. But if you want to have peace of mind, not get chopped out, continue in the direction, and eventually make it your multi-day position as well, by the end of the day, your bias, it has to be bullish trade, right? You hold buy, since level is holding, you can turn this trade into multi-day trade, right? And then you today push up into that. If you were looking at shorting it, you cannot hold it overnight. You cannot turn your short for the day into multi-day because it's above the zone, right? And so that's pretty much what the case. Yeah, if you're shorting, that's your scalp, as long as you know until where your short is valid. But you have to stay with where the how should I explain, where the price action wants to go, right? So if you now, I think over the last 3 days, I have explained you this very concept, right? So it should be explainable now, because today we exactly got an example that now makes it a full rounded example, right? All right, right? So what from here, right? So the thing is that we are bullish and we will remain bullish. We don't need this zone anymore for focus for tomorrow and day after. For tomorrow and from the hereafter, for the near term zone that you're watching for a continuation, we will remain in this structure as long as we continue to now hold above 774 to 773. Everything above this is bullish. Any pullback through that has to be traded, just as how I explained in the last few days. Okay, and that's pretty much what it is. All right, S&P 500 remains bullish. Only below yellow zone, if we crack and close lower than that, then that only will trigger some sideways again and choppiness or downside, which is part of it, technically a pullback, but structure is looking really bullish on S&P 500 here. Let's get to Nasdaq 100. Now, Nasdaq 100 also pushing straight through. All right, already captured the next zone. I mean, broke out of those significant levels there. And at this point, that's pretty much what your zone is. We don't need this anymore. It has served its purpose. Actually, let's put it back so that let's get to the hourly interval so that you understand the importance of that zone that I gave you. What did you see today? We held above that zone still, right? So but anyhow, it has already gained through and above the next area, and so we don't need this zone anymore for focus. And though it has been already bullish, now it has made the next run up. So let's get back to the daily interval. The zone you can watch, guys, as an ongoing trailing area is this zone now. You stay above 727, 728, and all good there, right? So above that, everything will remain bullish on Nasdaq 100. Seems like it's gonna go to the new all-time highs as well. Very simple on this thing, okay? And let's take a look at now IWM. What is IWM doing? This is also remaining still bullish, guys, continuing up, right? And this has been also, I have been telling you that excuse me, anything above these zones will remain bullish and so forth. And we can get rid of that right now. We don't need that for tomorrow. From here on, this is the zone you are watching, 302. We stay above 302. I don't have to mark it, guys. Significant level is present there. And the reason I highlight this zone so that you know what the zone has to be in the focus, but those levels are already marked there by my tools, okay? It's just to explain and visualize. It's just I highlight those things, right? But this is the zone to watch, 302. And we are staying above it. We will be all good from where we are on IWM as well. This is also bullish. I mean, for it to trigger some pullback and cool off, it will be like losing 302 pretty much. If we do that, then only there's an expectation of some pullbacks to begin. Otherwise, multi-day, daily, overall, just continuation will stay in there, right? All right, we'll get to KOSPI at the end of this video. I'll show you a Skhynix and Samsung as well there. Let's take a look at GLD now. So GLD had a run up. Now this is something, if you remember, I did talk about it a few, I would say days ago, that this is where I was telling you that it has a high likelihood of stabilizing here and it can push up as well, but our upside may be limited, and this is the move that would come. Like I was more targeting 397, it a little bit pushed higher than that, which is okay, right? Let's actually, that zone is still important. Now what do we make out of here? Actually there is a room on this to update, like it's a zone like until 402, but let's stick with this one here. Right now it is showing that it wanna do some pullback here. Okay, let's get to the hourly interval to identify, do we have confirmation of pullback happening? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. How do I know? I have explained to you this concept multiple times, and the concept is what? Significant level. We gained significant level, tested the one above, came down and lost the very prior significant level, thus triggering a multi-day weakness. And that's pretty much what it is. So yes, below this 403, we are in the multi-day weakness right now. This is technically an overall structural pullback, okay? So either we gain above that again, 403, to gain momentum, or we can trigger a pullback. But we have a room to stabilize at this zone, 382. So even if we do a pullback until 382, it has a room to stabilize. So the point being, 382 breakage below that, likelihood is less right now. It's possible, but this is where we have a room to come down and may see some bounces again, but be a little bit careful. I think it's gonna a little bit chop around through the pullbacks and all for some time. So just keep that in mind on GLD here, okay? I can get rid of this zone actually at this point. Yeah, this one up there. So it has technically served its purpose because it has bounced up there. Now it's more about, there's actually one zone I can mark as well. Yeah, but let's leave it as it is. Let's focus on this zone 383, that there's a room for a pullback there, okay? SLV, and then we'll jump on to KOSPI. SLV in the same boat, it has a room to do a pullback, but the zone to watch is most likely we will stabilize in this zone, like 55 and all. So SLV, this is iShares Silver Trust. I mean, I'd like to track this. I mean, it's technically the same thing for the, if you have anything similar asset or something, but this is what is more like, it's, you know, they track similar side of the things, okay? So SLV is yeah, so until 55 and all, we will be just fine there. So it's doing some pullback. It's also bounced up with like gold, but right now want to do a pullback. Okay, but we may stabilize at 55.60. So yeah, I am not really like right now super bullish on these things though. They are still technically just in their long-term rebounds. Overall, it's not that we have like a proper uptrend structure. That will still take a lot of days and weeks to happen. So it's not there yet. Okay. Alrighty, guys, let's jump onto KOSPI. Again, a great day. KOSPI is a little bit reacting at the zone. It has gotten to the next zone, 7109. Now, look, bottom formation that I have been telling you has been playing out perfectly as how I mentioned, right? And we got to the next zone now, 7,000 area. The thing is that yes, we may trigger another set of a pullback here, okay? But the thing is that these zones will still remain our bottom zones. Right now, structure is still bullish on KOSPI, and any pullback as if it happens will remain bullish, which pretty much means memory stocks have turned around, right? I have talked about that in the morning also, all right, on the Micron and all, and I have been telling you that from many days and weeks now that guys, we are in the bottom formation. And before that, when we were bearish, like right over here, I told you to get out, I told you to short, right? And now when I told you it's bullish and things are turning bullish, now it's the bottom. It's been what I've been saying to you. Anyhow, Skhynix is just fine also. Along the ways, pullbacks can still happen, but guys, it's just bottom and bullish strength is what we have on this. Similarly on Samsung is already strong, and this very zone now down here is now your ongoing good support. Okay, any pullback until there is just fine. Even if we come down, I still think this is also next level of a good support, like 218 and all. So I really don't think that, yeah, right now at least, like we go as we stay above these zones like 244 and all on Samsung, and the zones that I gave you on KOSPI and all will be just fine there. Okay. Alrighty, guys, that's all what I had. Market every day is a new all-time highs, and that's the state of the market, guys. Okay. Anyways, we trade with the levels. That's where the money is, guys. I don't know what's going to happen in 5 years in the market. I don't know what's going to happen in 10 years. It doesn't matter. Take what you can from the market and be happy with that. Okay. All right. With that, I'll see you in my next videos. Take care. Bye.